Peter asked Jesus a question. If somebody hurts me, he said, and then says,
I'm really sorry.
How many times should I forgive him and say,
Hey, that's okay.
Before Jesus could answer, however, Peter offered an answer of his own. He thought it would sound good. He thought it would sound big-hearted. He thought it would be the kind of thing that Jesus would like to hear. Should I forgive him 7 times? He said. Seemed like a lot of times to Peter, but Jesus was not impressed. No, answered Jesus, not 7 times, but 70 times 7 times. Peter did some quick sums. That was a lot of times, a whole lot of times, more times than Peter had ever forgiven anybody. So, Jesus told him a story. Once there was a king. One of his servants owed him money. Not a little money, not lots of money, but loads and loads and loads of money, millions and millions and more. One day the servant was brought before the king, and because he could not pay what he owed, the king commanded that the man and his family should be sold as slaves. The servant fell to his knees. I'm really sorry, he cried. Be patient with me, please. Just give me another chance, and I promise I will pay back everything I owe. The king looked at his servant. He felt sorry for him. And then, much to his servant's surprise, the king smiled and said,
Hey, that's okay.
That's okay. Then he called off the debt and set him free. The servant left the palace celebrating, and that's when he ran into another servant who owed him money. Not loads of money, not a lot of money either. A couple of coins, that's all. Did that first servant remember what the king had done for him? Not for a minute. He grabbed the second servant by the throat and demanded to be paid. So the second servant pleaded, I'm really sorry, he cried. Be patient with me, please. Give me another chance. I'll pay back everything I owe. But instead of saying, hey, that's okay, the first servant had the second servant thrown in jail. Word of this got back to the king, and he was so angry that he had the first servant dragged before him again. When you came to me and said, I'm really sorry, I called off your debt and said, hey, that's okay. Why couldn't you do the same? And with that, the king had the servant thrown into jail until he could repay what he owed. Jesus looked at his friend. God is like that king. I'm really sorry. That's what we say to him. More times than we can count. But even more times than that, he tells us, hey, that's okay. That's okay. And all he really wants is for us to tell that to each other too. I'm really sorry, said Peter. I didn't understand. And Jesus just smiled and said, hey, that's okay. That's okay.